We're diving into one of Carl Jung's most powerful ideas, the shadow, what it is, why it matters, and how to work with it consciously. By the end, you'll see how embracing your shadow can help you grow, heal, and live more fully. Let's go straight in. Let's start with the basics. Carl Jung coined the term shadow to describe the parts of ourselves that we reject, repress, or deny, those traits, impulses, and feelings we don't want to admit we have. It's not just evil or bad. The shadow includes anything our conscious self won't accept: fears, insecurities, jealousies, anger, but also unrealized gifts, creative impulses, suppressed potentials. One way Jung put it, the thing a person has no wish to be. That phrase captures the energy of the shadow. It's what we push away. The shadow lives in the unconscious. It often shows up through projections. We see in others the traits we disown within ourselves. So the shadow is not a horror movie monster when it's part of you. The key is it's hidden, unacknowledged, and when ignored, it controls you from behind the scenes. Why do we have a shadow? How does it form? As children, we learn social rules, moral norms, expectations. We internalize what is good, acceptable, and reject or suppress what's bad, wrong, or disapproved. Over time, those rejected parts sink into the unconscious. The more rigid or extreme the demands of what we should be, the larger the shadow becomes, because more parts of us get suppressed. The shadow also contains traits that are socially discouraged or taboo. It's the hidden side of our persona, the face we show others. The persona says, "I am this way," while the shadow holds what we deny. If we never look, the shadow gains unconscious power over us. It projects outward. We criticize others, judge them harshly. Often these are mirror traits we refuse to see in ourselves. In short, the shadow forms from rejection, suppression, and disowning. It's a natural consequence of driving a wedge between what we are and what we want to be. When the shadow remains unconscious and unintegrated, it causes problems, projection, and blame. We see in others what we deny in ourselves. We judge, attack, or despise those traits in others while unaware they live in us. Emotional outbursts, compulsions, sudden anger, shame, envy, or addictive impulses may emerge uncontrollably because the shadow is trying to get attention. Inner conflict and fragmentation, we feel shadows tugging at us: guilt, inner tension, self-sabotage, indecision, lack of authenticity and shallowness, over-identification with persona and image, over-concern with what others think, leading to living inauthentically. Jung warned, the less you know your shadow, the darker and denser it becomes. So avoiding your shadow is not safe. It's exactly what gives it power. If it's not all negative, what good is the shadow? When we bring it into awareness and integrate it, it becomes a powerhouse for growth, greater self-awareness. We see motives, patterns, blind spots we never knew. Authenticity and wholeness, we become more ourselves, less fragmented. Access to hidden strengths, some suppressed qualities may be positive potential, for example, courage, creativity, assertiveness, better relationships, fewer projections onto others, more empathy and honesty, emotional balance, less internal conflict, more integration, resilience. That is the path Jung called individuation, becoming your full self by integrating conscious and unconscious. You don't need a therapy couch. You can spot your shadow often quite easily. Here are signs: strong aversions or judgments toward certain people. The qualities you hate in them often mirror your shadow. Shame, guilt, or defensiveness when certain subjects come up. Feeling triggered. Someone says something and you react disproportionately. Recurring negative patterns or self-sabotage, behaviors you promise you'll stop but keep repeating. Dreams, fantasies, dark imaginings. The shadow often speaks in symbolism. When you notice these, pause and ask, what am I pushing away in myself right now? That question is a portal. Here are clear steps you can take, even on your own, to begin integrating your shadow. Begin by noticing your reactions, triggers, judgments. Write them down. Don't shame yourself. You're collecting data. For example, what in me is like this person I hate? What do I deny about myself? Imagine your shadow as a separate part. Ask it, what do you want? Why were you hidden? Let it speak on the page. You don't have to act out every impulse, but you can acknowledge its existence. Say, I see you. Use the energy of the shadow trait toward positive ends. For example, suppressed anger might become assertiveness. Suppressed ambition might become motivation. Shadow work is never done. New layers emerge. Regular reflection, journaling, dream work, therapy can help. These steps reflect standard shadow work practices in Jungian-inspired self-work. Here's a brief exercise you can start right now, a taste of shadow work. Take 30 seconds of silence. Bring to mind a recent moment when you felt judgment, irritation, or shame. Ask, what part of me is uncomfortable being here? Name it: anger, fear, envy. Listen, what deeper feeling or need lies beneath it? This is very similar to the exercise I already recorded. You can try it now after this video. Link in the description. This kind of mini exercise begins the process of giving your shadow a voice. To wrap up, the shadow is the hidden, disowned part of yourself, both flaws and potentials. Ignoring it gives it power. Integrating it gives you power. Doing the work requires courage, curiosity, and compassion. If you want to go deeper, try the 30-second shadow exercise now.